Hello everybody and welcome to another edition of Random Video Thursday, and today it's going to be a book review. My first book review of the new year, 2024. And after I woke up this morning, I found another President book laying around the house, and I thought this would be perfect, and it's this book. Lives of the Presidents. It's pretty interesting. It's basically a biography of every president of the United States. And what I also really like is it has these paintings of the president, which are very accurate. They look just like the president. So, for example, here is Honest Abe, Abraham Lincoln. Very good resemblance. That looks exactly like Lincoln. And also it has the First Lady. So there's Lincoln's wife, Mary Todd. There's General Grant. And I believe he's holding a plate of cucumbers and pickles, which is fitting. That was his favorite food. There's his wife, Julia Dent. FDR, very good resemblance. There's Eleanor Roosevelt. Kennedy, I think, is a really good drawing. That looks just like JFK. I love the American flag robe that Kennedy is wearing. And there's Jackie up there. And let's see. Oh, this one I think is a really accurate drawing. There's Bill Clinton, fittingly, carrying a saxophone. And there's his wife up there, Hillary Rodham. And then the drawing that they made of Reagan is really good. There's Ronald Reagan, considered by many to be one of the greatest presidents of all time. In my opinion, the greatest president of all time. And that is a very accurate painting. That looks exactly like Reagan. And of course, there's his wife, Nancy. And finally, one more painting. Then we'll read one of the stories here. This is Jimmy Carter, who right now is the oldest living president in American history at 99 years old. And fittingly, he's working in a peanut farm. And that's his wife, Rosalind Smith. And a story about Jimmy Carter here. People knew they were in for a change from the moment Jimmy and Rosalind Carter got out of the car during the inaugural parade, holding hands and walked to the White House. The Carters wanted to promote physical fitness, show confidence in their physical security, and signal that they weren't royalty who had to be chauffeured everywhere. Rosalind shook the fashion conscious by appearing in a previously worn dress at the 11 inaugural parties that night. Carter told the Secret Service agents to stop opening doors for him, ordered all White House thermostats turned down to save energy, and used the stairs, not the elevators, to get around. With a toothy grin and a permanently bent finger from a cotton gin accident, Carter was unlike any previous president. His unusual background included studying nuclear physics, or nuclear physics, as he would say, at the U.S. Naval Academy. That's in Annapolis, the capital of Maryland, and then becoming a millionaire from his family-owned peanut business. A Baptist, he had a saintly image, humble, compassionate, and quick to forgive. He once said, "I have one life and one chance to make it count for something." He could be moody, but rarely expressed anger, and then only by way of an icy stare or a bit of a withering sarcasm, and was always willing to admit his own faults. One fault, according to some people, was an obsession with the small details of being president. His earnest ways did not appeal to those who saw them as a self-righteous or phony, and he didn't give the impression of having a sense of humor. Carter dressed simply, preferring his denim farmer clothes around the White House. He wore baggy old cardigans, often with a red tie he considered lucky. He had the music of Bach and Vivaldi piped into his office, but also liked Bob Dylan, Paul Simon, and the Allman Brothers. White House cooks fixed Southern food for themselves, so they were happy to make it the official White House diet. Grits for breakfast, and for other meals, peanut soup, lentil and Frank's soup, country ham with red-eye gravy, cornbread, Georgia peach cobbler, peaches are his favorite food, of course, and peanut brittle. Despite all this, Carter lost 30 pounds while in the White House. He kept on the move by bicycling, playing tennis, skiing, and bowling. On rainy days, he jogged up and down stairs. He always felt that his life had been affected most deeply by experiences in wild areas, especially trout streams all over the country, and a devoted fisherman. After marrying Rosalind Smith, the best friend of his sister, he taught her to sign letters to him, ILYTG, which stands for I love you to the goodest. As First Lady, she was always a full partner, in every sense of the word, according to Carter, who valued her as almost a perfect extension of myself. They met on Thursdays for lunch to go over decisions Carter had to make, and the rest of the week he bombarded her with memos scribbled with Roz. What think? Openly affectionate, they seemed to have antennae for sensing each other's thoughts. They spoke so alike that some were unnerved. He counted on her to speak for him with authority. I enjoy every minute of it, Rosalind said of her White House time. They took turns reading the Bible to each other in bed. For birthdays, he gave her engraved Bible verses. In a famous interview, Carter admitted he had been unfaithful to his wife many times, but only in his heart. There is no doubt that the members of my family helped me be a better president, Carter said. He discussed presidential matters with his 4 children at the supper table at family councils. Even Amy, born over 20 years after his 3rd child, contributed her knowledge of school issues, like how to improve the lunch program. Amy's controversial caretaker with a former prison convict, who Carter believed innocent of the murder for which she'd been convicted. She was later given a full pardon. Amy's brothers worked hard to protect their younger sister's privacy. Carter designed a treehouse for her within a silver cedar on the White House lawn. Her special private place, but also large enough for sleepovers with a few friends. Amy was allowed to come to state dinners, but in case there were boring parts, she always brought a book along. In their free time, the Carters threw frisbees on the White House lawn and watched movies. Carter reported to have seen more movies than any other president. Some 465 in 4 years. President attacked by rabbit read the headlines after a newspaper never explained after a never explained episode in which Carter, fishing in a pond, had to shoo away with an oar a large rabbit that seemed determined to join him in the boat. The only actual White House pet was Amy's cat, a Siamese named Misty Malarkey Yin Yang. Not wanting to be a frustrated old prune of a man, Carter made himself one of the most active ex-presidents. Accompanied by Rosalind, he has devoted himself to human rights causes around the world. If the misery of the others leaves you indifferent and with no feeling of sorrow, he said, then you cannot be called a human being. An advocate for the homeless, he helps build houses for families in need. Working as a backstage peacemaker, he meditates in international crisis and goes on specific diplomatic missions for other presidents. His church activities include teaching Sunday school and once a month taking his turn cleaning the churchyard. He also likes to hike through the 2,000 acres of woods he inherited around his hometown of Plains, Georgia. Wherever he is, he has a laptop computer ready to capture his thoughts. He writes, and his writings include poetry, a tribute to his adventures, hunting and fishing, books for young people, and a presidential diary amounting to 5,000 pages in 18 big black notebooks. And that's all for today in history. Please remember to like this video, share it with your friends, comment down below, and please subscribe. I'll see you next time.